All right, I'm just going to talk about a little bit of the differences between the X-Forge CB and the Apex TCB. I keep getting questions about them. I mean, you can go look at the spec sheets. Obviously, the X-Forge CB are larger. They have more offset. The top lines are very, very similar. But the Apex TCBs are just much more compact. And because of that, you can tell that the size of the cavity relative to the head is much bigger. I mean, you've got this little indent on the X-Forge CB that sticks out here, but overall, the percentage cavity seems larger compared to the head on the Apex TCB, and they are really quite forgiving for what they are. But anyway, down to construction. So they come with these tungsten plates, which are not actually like all tungsten. If anyone's ever taken one of these off before, they're rubber. Let me get that to focus. With a tiny little bit of metal on the outside. And so these X-Forge CBs have the lighter ones. I don't know if you can read it. So this is the 3 through 7 light, which is 12 grams. These Apex TCBs have the standard, which is 17. I can't remember if the heavy is 21 or 22 grams. 5 gram progression would be 22, but I think I remember reading they were 21 somewhere. I'd have to double check. Anyway, they're same size, interchangeable between the two in the 3 through 7, and then you get into in the 8 through P and A, they're a little skinnier, so they're smaller for the size of the head, obviously, and yeah. So and those are interchangeable between the two as well. So with the X-Forge CB that I got originally from Callaway had these lighter 12 gram ones on there for that build, and then some tip weights, which was a little surprising to me. I thought they would have tried to maybe go with the standard weight and sort to lighter heads, but turns out that the X-Forge CB actually run, at least mine do, and the one other set that I've had taken apart in here run just a little bit light. See if I can refresh my memory here. So I got the 4-iron right here. The 4 is with the standard weight 245.6, and maybe about a half club light, but something like the P7 MC. I have a big fondness for the P7 MCs. That 4 is nearly 256. They run a little bit heavy, which is great for most people when you're building up this type of iron. A lot of people like D3, D4 swing weight, prefer the heavier heads. The X-Forge CB are a little light. I don't know about the Apex TCB. I'll probably break these down in a couple weeks or few, and I'll get a better feel for them then. But I've been very happy with my original build, original order. I put it in March, and I've got over 50 rounds in with them, so I'm not really in a rush to take them apart. I do want to try some different combinations with them, but until then, we'll just it's just speculation. But I would assume that they're going to be just a tad light too. Anyway, so listen, you take the plates off, and on the Apex TCB, the thing that surprised me was how absolutely close the back of the face is to where the screw terminates in there, in this recessed plate that holds the weight. The face, I mean, is right there. It's maybe a 1/16 of an inch on the heel side. On the toe side, just a little bit further, maybe 3/16. But maybe that's just my naivete. And when you look at the heel, you're expecting a little bit more depth in there, and you realize how recessed that is, and it just doesn't leave a lot of room between the back of the face and the start of that recessed plate, which was surprising to me. The X-Forge CB is the same way. Oh, and on these, so the Apex TCB, there's also some kind of goop in here that I don't know if they just squirt something in there to put the screw to hold the screw in place, or what. But with my X-Forge CBs, it's actually a black squishy material in there. I don't know if that's some sort of polymer insert. I didn't see anything listed that they had anything in there, but it's very interesting. It's definitely like a foamier something in there. It doesn't seem like something they would put in just to hold the screw in place. But same thing, very minimal room between the back of the face and the recessed plate that the weight sits on. But similar feel. Like I said, a lot less offset, more compact. Similar feel. The Apex TCB are just extremely soft, but it feels to me more like a modern softness. I was talking with someone about this, trying to compare it to the ZX7s, and the word is that these are endo forged. The ZX7 are endo forged, but the ZX7 have a much more traditional, like, one layer feel and feedback to me, where these have, they're very soft, but it seems more like a modern, like with the size of this cavity being as much of the face it is, they almost feel like a really soft hollow to me. And I mean, I don't know that with the resonance effect of having rubber screwed to the back of them, what that does. But they have like a ting to the softness. I keep talking. The word I keep using is that they sing a little differently. I mean, they're wonderful. It feels plush. I love it. They both have 13 grooves, 3 to 7, and then they go to 14 at the P. As you get, they both terminate at 14 in the P. I have the A wedge in the Apex TCB. Same thing, 14 grooves, and I mean, they're both great, just depending on what you're looking for. These are obviously more demanding. They list the progression from the DCB to the standard Apex to the Pro to the X-Forge CB, and then the blades. They didn't really have these when the Callaway guys were talking about. These would fit between the X-Forge CB and the blades to me. Same with the Pro and the blades. 13 grooves through this. At the 7, 14 at the P. That's just a couple of little differences.